All right, we're going to go ahead and continue multiplying this. And so what I'm actually going to do on this one is I am going to multiply just these last two fractions, then I'll multiply that half. So what I want to do is I'm going to take 1/2 times, and let's do 15/15. Oh, that's actually pretty good if you guys kind of look at this, that it's basically the same thing. So if I have 1/2 times 15/15, I know 15/15 actually equals the whole number 1, right? So if I have 1/2 times 1, what's the answer? It's 1/2, okay? Now this one is we need to look at the expression, and we've actually have to figure it out ourselves. So it says half as much. So half as much I know is going to be dividing by 2. So dividing by 2 would be half as much. So I'm going to take 3/4 and I'm going to multiply it by this 2/10, but I'm going to convert that into my fraction. So I'm going to get 6/40 divided by 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do before I do this, I'm going to divide this by 2, divide this by 2. I'm going to get 3/20, and that's exactly what I did, was I just divided it by 2. And so, so 3/20 divided by 2, okay? So then that answer is actually going to be 3/40, okay? The reason is because I'm taking this 3/20, so let's kind of pretend I've got 3/20, so here's 3, so this is 3/20, 3/20, 3/20. Each of them I'm splitting it into 2, so I would have 3/20, 3/20, 3/20, 3/20, and it would kind of keep going on, that I would end up having 3/40, okay? The next one is 3 times as much, so 3 times as much as the quotient, which when I look at quotient is going to be dividing. So I've got 2 and 4/10, so I'm going to write this as 24/10 divided by 6/10. Okay, so that when I do this, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did the other day on this problem, is I'm going to do 2 and 4, I'm going to do 2.4 times 10 divided by 6 times 10, 0.6 times 10. That's going to give me 24/6, okay, which 24/6 is going to equal 4 times 3 is going to equal 12. Okay, so all I did was I wanted to get rid of that decimal, so instead of doing the fraction division, I wanted to do the decimal division, so I got rid of that decimal, and then I was able to make that as 12. The next one, it says that we're going to choose one of these 4 equations to match this expression, and then we're going to solve the story problem, okay? So it says, a farmer picked 20 carrots. He cooked 2/3 of them and then gave 5 to his rabbits. Write the expression that tells how many carrots he has left. And actually, we don't have to solve it, so it's pretty good. So he gave 5 to his rabbits. So he had 20 carrots, and he cooked 2/3 of them. So I took them and I multiplied it by 2/3. And then I gave 5 of what I did to his rabbit. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in parentheses. And if I take a look at what I have, I don't have, that one's not going to match. That one actually is pretty close to this. That one doesn't match, and that one doesn't match. So this problem right here, 2/3 times 20, because we always do multiplication first, so that's maybe why they don't have the parentheses there, and then I'm going to subtract 5, okay? So here's another one. It says, Farmer Green picked 20 carrots. He cooked 5 of them, and then gave 2/3 of the remaining to his rabbits. Okay, so what I needed to do is I needed to figure out how many he had remaining, and then I gave 2/3 to his rabbits. So that's the reason why I multiplied it by 2/3. So when I look at this, 20 minus 5 times 2/3. Well, if I do this one wouldn't work, because this one is basically out of that order, because first we needed to have the carrots, we cooked them, 2/3 of his 20. On this one, he cooked 5 of them and then he gave the 2/3. So this expression here would be that 2/3 times 20 minus 5. And it's important that we know that the difference between these two equations is because at first he cooked 2/3 of them and then gave 5 away. On this one, he cooked 5 of them, and then of what he had left, he gave 2/3 of them away. Okay, and if you were to actually solve this, you would notice that it probably won't be the same. So let's do 40/3 minus 5. So it'd be 13 1/3 minus 5. So he would have, what, 8 1/3 carrots left, okay? On here, it would be 2/3 of 15, because 20 minus 5 is 15. So it would be 30/5 or 6 carrots is what he would give to his rabbit. So those answers are two different things because it's talking about two different things.